Welcome, garden dreamers. Today on Time for Gardening, we're diving into a world where cottage garden charm meets the magic of upcycled vintage treasures. If you love whimsical blooms, nostalgic accents, and eco-friendly ideas, this is the perfect blend for you. In this video, I'll walk you through 12 inspired ways to infuse your garden with beauty, creativity, and sustainability. Whether you're new to gardening or looking for fresh ideas to revamp your space, you'll find plenty of tips to turn your plot into a timeless sanctuary. Make sure to hit subscribe, tap like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's grow this community together. Your support means the world and helps us continue sharing inspiring garden content each week. Now let's begin the journey into our charming cottage garden with vintage flair. Cottage gardens are known for their free-flowing blooms, informal structure, and romantic feel, but adding upcycled elements brings a unique layer of storytelling to the space. Think weathered watering cans turned into planters, or old wooden drawers overflowing with trailing petunias. These details not only elevate the rustic charm but also reflect your personal creativity and love for sustainable living. When you blend the wild beauty of nature with thoughtfully reused items, you create a garden that's both elegant and environmentally conscious. Upcycling encourages us to see the beauty in the forgotten and the potential in the discarded. Every vintage find has a story, and when placed thoughtfully among your delphiniums and daisies, it becomes part of the garden's narrative. Let your garden be a living museum of beauty and second chances. Don't toss that broken chair. Give it a new life in your cottage garden. A chipped bench or a rusted bistro seat can be the perfect anchor for a floral vignette. Use them as stands for potted herbs or accent pieces nestled among foxgloves and sweet peas. A wooden bench under a blooming archway becomes a picturesque resting nook. Paint them in soft pastels or leave them weathered for an authentic vintage look. Adding cushions with floral prints can soften the look while enhancing the cozy vibe. Old furniture creates levels, draws the eye, and provides structure to a loose garden layout. These pieces invite you and your guests to slow down and linger. Give your cottage garden a dose of personality with teacup planters and Enamelware pots. They're perfect for succulents, violas, or even strawberries. Their charming shapes and vintage patterns add a pop of color and storybook appeal. Place them on vintage ladders, stack them on crates, or scatter them on outdoor tables for a playful touch. This small detail can bring so much joy and nostalgia. Look for these treasures at flea markets or garage sales. Bonus points if they have chipped edges for added character. Drainage holes can be added with a simple drill, or use pebbles for non-draining containers. It's the little details like these that make your garden unforgettable. Framing views and creating garden rooms is a hallmark of charming landscapes. Use salvaged windows as quirky, translucent dividers in your cottage garden. Old wooden framed windows can be mounted onto posts or trellises to separate sections of your garden or create a cozy reading nook. They add a whimsical architectural element while allowing light and sightlines to remain open. You can even hang small pots or lanterns from them for extra charm. Paint them in whitewash or pastel tones for a soft country feel, or leave them distressed for a more rustic mood. These vintage pieces spark conversation and imagination. It's a window into another world, your garden world. Short on space? Turn an old wooden ladder into a dreamy vertical plant stand. It's a practical and beautiful way to add height, layers, and visual interest. Use the rungs to hold terracotta pots brimming with nasturtiums, trailing lobelias, or mini ferns. Ladders work especially well in smaller cottage garden corners or patios, where ground space is limited. You can lean them against a fence, hang fairy lights around them, or even add tiny signs with plant names. They're easy to move and can be styled differently each season. This is upcycling with purpose and a whole lot of charm. A well-placed vintage mirror can add a surprising layer of enchantment to your garden. Mirrors reflect light and greenery, making your space feel larger and more lush. Choose old wooden framed or wrought iron mirrors from thrift shops and nestle them among climbing roses or ivy-covered walls. The result is a fairy tale-like illusion, like stepping into a secret garden. Just be sure to place them out of direct sunlight to avoid unwanted heat reflection. With the right positioning, they also offer a peekaboo moment of unexpected beauty. This trick works especially well in shaded areas to bounce light around. A simple mirror can become a magical portal in your garden escape. Your garden pathway sets the tone for exploration. So why not make it charming and sustainable? Use old bricks, reclaimed wood planks, or even mosaic tiles from broken china to create a one-of-a-kind walkway. These materials age gracefully and suit the cottage aesthetic beautifully. A winding path feels inviting, encouraging slow walks and joyful discoveries. Interplant thyme or chamomile between the gaps for scent and softness. Paths lined with lavender or catmint enhance the romantic feel and guide visitors with fragrance. An upcycled path isn't just a way to walk through your garden, it's part of the story. Nothing says cottage garden like a climbing rose draping over a rustic trellis. Look for reclaimed wood, wrought iron headboards, or old fence panels to use as trellises and dividers. These structures give form to your floral displays while staying true to the garden's informal charm. A vintage gate or a salvaged shutter can become a statement piece and a support system in one. They're perfect for clematis, honeysuckle, or even sweet peas. The worn texture of these pieces adds to the antique ambience. With a little creativity and a few screws, discarded materials become beautiful frameworks for bloom. Large metal buckets, watering cans, and wooden crates make ideal statement planters for your garden corners or porches. The key is mixing sizes and finishes for that effortless, lived-in charm. Line them up along a fence, layer them by height, and fill them with a mix of tall grasses, flowering perennials, and herbs. Aged copper or galvanized finishes add patina that pairs wonderfully with lush, overflowing foliage. You can stencil them with floral motifs, or leave them untouched for authenticity. These containers help break up the monotony of store-bought pots while celebrating your love for vintage finds. It's rustic elegance at its finest. Every upcycled element you add to your cottage garden contributes to a larger narrative, a story of care, imagination, and conscious living. This style isn't about perfection, it's about soul. You're not just decorating, you're curating a sanctuary of memory and magic. Old objects become vessels for new life and new joy. Whether it's a bicycle turn planter or an enamel teapot sheltering pansies, these choices reflect your values and your vision. Plus, it's a budget-friendly way to beautify your space. When guests visit your garden, they don't just see plants, they experience a tapestry of stories blooming all around. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the charming world of upcycled vintage treasures in cottage gardening. I hope this inspired you to look at old items with new eyes and find beauty in the unexpected. If you love these ideas, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Time for Gardening for more dreamy garden adventures. I'd love to hear which vintage touch spoke to you the most. Share it in the comments. Together, we're growing not just gardens, but a lifestyle rooted in creativity and care. So grab a teacup, plant a daisy, and make your garden sing with stories. Until next time, happy gardening and happy upcycling.